strength rather than a giver. Madame Blavatsky had Master El Morya, Saint-Germain, Kuthumai, Sanat Kumara, Sananda, Aleister Crowley, M.C. Gregor Mather, Frater Akkad, Krishnamurti, Leadbetter, and Besant, all immortal masters of astral travel and devoted members of Great White Brotherhood. Reason 69 Rare images of a sundog, the view of our binary suns, sometimes even appearing as three suns. These are government facilities fully staffed located far away from civilization on the poles, which are the only places you can see this phenomena. These places don't get visitors often, and if they do, they are not civilians. With this arsenal, Thule hatched a deeper plan in conjunction with the paranormal division of the Third Reich. Deros, their contact who wrote the New Emerald Tables of Thoth, dwelled in the underground city of Agartha. The Paranormal Division was said to receive more funding than Hitler's Total Armament Division due to its importance to the Reich. They lay burdened with the task of gathering all the powerful shrines from around the world, which eventually ended up in the vaults of the British Museum. Those who have done study on holy artifacts will note that most of them are in the British Museum, not in their original place of origin. They won't allow it. Many of these objects do strange things when placed back on their corresponding ley lines. It is known you can only get into the vaults of the British Museum if you are a member of the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn was a society set up by Thule in which Aleister Crowley was made head of. He had Frater Akkad as his apprentice. Crowley and Mathers were always in competition with one another. This is how Blavatsky penned them against each other to broaden their potential. These two adepts birthed the greatest horrors mankind has witnessed in this era. Many of their works were published by Blavatsky's Lucy's Trust, again another obvious clue she was part of the Luciferian agenda. 87 PAGE. Reason 70 The Holy Grail and the Spear of Longinus, which was said to pierce the side of Christ, were both seized by Hitler. These artifacts are charged with energy due to the belief millions of people put in them. Childhood stories of knights, princesses, and dragons all serve to mold the mind for future indoctrination. Most of these items had much different histories. The real Grail was not even the chalice, it was a succession of women carrying pure bloodlines, like Mary. Aleister was far more sadistic than M.C. Gregor. It was he the beast decided to incarnate in. That did not go without the key use of M.C. Gregor, who had a gift for languages. M.C. Gregor was set to the task of translating the Keys of Solomon from ancient Hebrew to Latin and English. This had never been done, and it was awaited by every magician of the time, especially since not many had access to the libraries in the British Museum. After translation, M.C. Gregor's life was very short, and his scribe admits he had been affected by some curse which the book even warns of, called the reflux current. Dan Brown is scheduled to release his rendition of the Keys of Solomon to follow up his Angels and Demons. I sure hope you are off this plane when this hits the media and people in their curiosity download the original book, which is also available for free. The beast has incarnated in several men such as Jack Parsons, the creator of the nuclear bomb, who was also a Satanist, Albert Pike, the 33 Mason responsible for bringing new forms of the corrupted Brotherhood to the US, and of course Crowley, who set Leviathan free. As they completed the circle of ceremony, all was silent. Everything that needed to be said was said, the order, perfect, the incense, in measure, the offerings received, investments they waited, and as time passed they assumed the ritual to be barren. Then there was a flash of energy as the portal opened, a green trapezoid. Many collapsed with the sudden change in temperature as the deep cold permeated the room. They had done it, they had unleashed the ancient Forbidden One. What have they done? They have released Leviathan, who is see through you. Aleister Crowley's ritualistic experiments in Loch Ness. 88 PAGE. Reason 71 Left to right Crowley, Pike, and Parson, the fleshly hosts of the beast. I will take a moment to elaborate on this book, The Keys to Solomon, since I personally believe it will play a huge role in the reality shift of this dimension for a few reasons. When Dan Brown released the Da Vinci Code, it was instantly a bestseller, meaning the media pushed it to the top fast. He followed up with Angels and Demons, and that solidified his career. They had the perfect puppet icon. Anything else he releases people are going to swarm to. They warmed everyone back up again when they did the Da Vinci Code movie with everyone's favorite Mr. Forrest Gump Tom Hanks. This gave Dan more prestige. Now they are finished with the Angels and Demons movie and the subtitle is Revenge of the Nephilim, which you can do your own book on all of what that entails by now. So next of course will be The Keys to Solomon. The original book, The Key to Solomon, does not read like a story book. It is strictly talismans, prayers, repentances, evocations, and illustrations of ceremonial magic. It is not wise to speak against anything you do not understand. This book I understand very clearly is a horrible danger. Why? During the time I was a fresh pastor I was fascinated with Solomon. He was who I chose as my archetype, as many men of the cloth often do. Solomon has all the wisdom and most affectionately all the ladies, something abolished after Solomon's time, but still it allows the deprived pastor to dream a little. I wanted to read everything Solomon wrote, especially since it actually says in Proverbs Solomon wrote over 5,000 books. I wondered why, if Solomon wrote 5,000 books, we only had 3 Psalms, Proverbs, and the Song of Solomon, one of which was not written by Solomon but by Lemuel. Some say Lemuel, Solomon, and Jedidiah were all the same person. I began to search and came across 2 more books, the Testaments of Solomon and the Keys to Solomon. Both were full of demons. In the Testament of Solomon, Solomon is actually interrogating demons under the power of the ring which he says was given to him by YHVH. The Keys to Solomon had the names of demons inscribed in the talismans that it instructed you to make. Of course I didn't know the names were those of demons, failing to do the translation from Hebrew to English at the moment. In addition, my Dictionary of Angels by Gustav was still on the way. But that wasn't going to stop me from exploring a little of Solomon's wondrous talismans. 89 PAGE. In short, after doing all of the rigorous work of constructing a talisman for wisdom, this is what happened. First, I will note that some of the rituals in the book involved animals' blood, which made me think a little deeper about Solomon. However, there were plenty that did not involve blood, and since there was also a warning in the beginning of the book about using animals' blood, I came to the terms that someone had maliciously put the spells there since they were towards the back of the book. When I would fall asleep with the talisman or book around me, I would be transported to another world. Once I realized I was watching the dream, I could begin to control it, thus starting the lucid phase. From there some monstrous form would appear and we would do battle, of which I noticed the seals from the Key to Solomon played a heavy role in trapping these demons once they had been subdued. Sustaining any kind of blow from them would result in real physical damage in this world. On one occasion a demon got hold of me and slammed me before I could break the dream. When I woke up I had the pain and the bruises. After that I learned not to get grabbed. All along I was imagining I was doing the Lord's work, in the army now. The dreams could always be broke by holy names in which I kept a complete arsenal in memory. I also noted there were a lot of other people there, all involved in doing something in this strange world full of spirits. The demons got bigger and bigger and I seemed to get better and better at dealing with them, and then the dictionary arrived. I was horrified to find that the talismans contain the names of demons. What I now know is that all the demons I was fighting I had evoked, and if I had lost they could have done damage to my soul. I will tell the reader now. I was born on the 22nd, which is a master number, so I have a buffer that allows me to dissect these things without immediate danger to my soul due to positive intent. However, I know beyond doubt many have been taken by this book. Maybe my work about it will reach the people's hands in time so they can steer clear of it. Back to the plans of Thule. With the talismans of Solomon in hand, they began to travel the opposite plane, which anyone trained in lucid sleep can do. In this plane you can go to various places, and the main feature is you can call forth beings and they appear. Apparently they called forth the Enochian and Jane's sons of Cain and they appeared to them. They consulted with them about world domination and how it could be brought about. They gave them first a special language of power to use amongst themselves in conjunction with real power. They gave them this strategy for using young minds as processors in universities. The idea was to use the brightest minds to develop